In this lesson, we're going to be making our flamethrower effect work in motion. Now, I made a few small changes, but nothing too major, just like little tweaks, really. And so it's pretty much the same thing you've seen before. It's this effect. It looks very nice, and, it's good. But what happens if we go ahead and just play it? What's it going to look like in motion? Well, it's sort of just very rigidly following along with the head. It's not really trailing sort of like you'd imagine a flame would if you had, say, a flame on a torch and you were waving it around. So we need to fix that first off. So first off, go ahead, go back to this thing. Press F to get closer. See this? What we can do is we can go to each of these particle systems and change their simulation space from local to world, and then they'll behave more appropriately for being moved around in the world. Okay, so we've changed all of those, but let's see what it's going to look like now. Well, that's slightly better in some way. In other ways, it's really quite bad. So we need to fix that as well. It looks like it's just not doesn't have enough force really to get out in front as our character's moving. So we're going to change quite a few things here in order to get that to work. I'm going to go ahead and select this first one. I'm just going to stop the whole simulation and then select off of this and select back on it. Okay, so let's work on just this one to start off with. Okay, so this is sort of what we want it to look like, but we need it to be going faster out of here. So I'm going to go ahead and increase the start speed to, let's do maybe 5. Okay, and now that's already ruined everything, right? Obviously. So let's go ahead and fix that change now. Let's go ahead and make these things die much sooner so it doesn't go out quite as far. As well as, let's increase the gravity. So maybe instead of 0.05, let's try 0.3. I think that'll be better. Let's go over to our second particle system, the flame licks, and make similar changes. So make this have a start speed of 5. So do something like that. And then we'll change our start lifetime to be 1 second as well as make the gravity a bit higher, so maybe 0.3 as well. Now let's go to these flames and do the similar thing here. So make this 5 velocity, and this is going to be even lower for the lifetime. 0.5 would be fine. And let's also go ahead and, well, the gravity can be fine. We'll just leave it like that. I do feel like this looks a little thin now. So let's fix that. Let's go through each of these particle systems and increase the number that are being emitted. So instead of 40 for this, let's make it 50 per second. And let's make particle systems for this one, make it 30 for the licks. And then for this one, the little flame, make this 35, make it just a little bit more. Okay, and now that's looking pretty good. You might want to modify it a little bit. One thing I am going to do is I'm going to tilt it down a little bit because we want to just get the players right in front, like in this area here. We want them to be hit, and right now they might be going over their head a little bit. So I'm going to do this in a way I think that it will work out okay, but it might be a little strange seeming until I'm finished. So I'm going to select this first particle system. I'm going to duplicate it. And then I'm going to remove the particle system component. So all I want is an empty, and now that's what this is. I'm going to change the name. I can change it up here, actually, to be Flame Thrower. And then I'm going to child all of these to it. Okay, so that's in the right position. It has all of these attached to it. Now I'm going to bring up the Rotate tool. And I'm just going to rotate this a little bit, holding in Control as I move it, just to move it at an angle. I think this will be okay starting off. And of course, we could always modify this more to make it, look a little nicer. For now, I'm just going to leave it like that, and I'll probably modify it a little bit off screen to make it look a little nicer, but that's good. One other thing we notice here, though, is that when it collides with the ground, they are sort of bouncing, and that's in the collision settings. So if I go down to collision, we can change bounce. This is basically going to, when a particle collides, the bounce is scaled with the value. The bounce is upward in motion, blah, 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 blah. That's, the bounce value. But the thing we can also change is the lifetime loss. When the particle collides, it will lose this fraction of its start lifetime. So if I make it 1, then whenever any of these particles collide with the ground, then they will just destroy themselves. So I'll change that for the other ones too. So make this lifetime loss 1, and make this lifetime loss 1 as well. And now we won't have that bounce. They'll just die as soon as they hit a surface. So that's fine. Okay, now with all of that done, let's see how it's working now. Hopefully it'll work a little bit nicer. And it looks like it is. It looks like it's pushing out those flames out in front. And it should be effective. Let's actually go, maybe in the scene, go and find it. Looks like he's over there. Gonna run over there and check it out. Very scary. And if I'm in front of it, then I will be being hit by the flames. Cool. That'll be it for this lesson. I will see you in the next one.